Now to some breaking news. A 90-day reprieve for one of Houston's most notorious criminals, the so-called tourniquet killer.
What if the man next door was hiding the darkest secrets?
Confessed to the murders of at least 3 girls and 1 woman.
Anthony Shore seemed ordinary, a family man.
Between 1986 and 1995.
A phone repairman, but beneath that mask lurked a terrifying predator known as the tourniquet killer. From his first victim, 14-year-old Lori Lee Tremble.
And he showed very little emotion. What he did say, and these are his words, "If this was my day, God's will be done. He gave me another 90 days.
To the chilling pattern of control and cruelty he wielded, Shore's story is a haunting journey into the mind of a serial killer who reveled in power over life and death. How did he evade capture for so long? What twisted methods did he use? And how did DNA evidence finally unravel his deadly reign? Don't miss the shocking truth behind Houston's most infamous murderer, because this story will grip you and never let go. Lori Lee Tremble was only 14 years old, just like many other teenagers going about their daily lives. One early morning in Houston, she was waiting at a bus stop when Anthony Shore noticed her. Shore was a married man with 2 children, but behind this normal life hid a dark and dangerous predator. He offered Lori a ride, and she accepted. Over the next few days, he gave her rides to school, trying to make their strange connection seem normal. But Lori was young and scared, and when things started to get too close, she tried to escape. Shore grabbed her, fought with her, and used a cord he had kept ready in his van to silence her forever. He strangled Lori Lee Tremble, his first known victim. This horrific act showed his need for control. He enjoyed deciding who would live and who would die. The murder shocked Houston and began the terrifying story of the man who would become known as the tourniquet killer. Anthony Shore's dark mind. Anthony Shore was not an obvious threat. He lived a quiet life as a married man with 2 daughters and worked as a telephone repairman in Houston. But behind this normal life, he hid a dark and dangerous mind. Shore enjoyed the control he had over his victims, feeling almost godlike as he decided who lived and who died. He was cold, calculating, and cruel. Shore's crimes showed a disturbing pattern. He would pick vulnerable young girls, often alone and trusting, and use his charm to lure them in. But once they were in his control, his true nature surfaced. He was violent and merciless. He strangled his victims with his bare hands or used a handmade tourniquet to slowly take their lives, finding pleasure in their suffering. Psychologists who studied Shore described him as lacking any real empathy. He saw women as objects for his use and felt entitled to do as he pleased. Shore twisted reality, trying to make his actions seem normal or justified, but the horror of his crimes spoke louder. His mind was that of a cold-blooded killer hiding behind the mask of the nice guy next door. The tourniquet killer emerges. Anthony Shore's method of killing became more chilling over time. After strangling Lori Lee Tremble with his bare hands, he hurt his fingers in the struggle. To avoid this, he crafted a new weapon, a handmade tourniquet. This tool allowed him to strangle victims slowly, controlling their breathing by tightening and loosening the cord. This method gave Shore a twisted sense of power. He could turn life on and off like a switch. This tourniquet became his signature, earning him the nickname, the Tourniquet Killer. It allowed him to control his victims' pain and fear, making their deaths slow and agonizing. Shore took sick pride in this technique, thinking it set him apart from other killers. The use of the tourniquet was not just practical but symbolic for Shore. It fed his desire for dominance and control, as he could watch his victims suffer and die under his command. This cruel invention marked a new and more terrifying phase in his killing spree, making him one of Houston's most feared predators. Brutal attacks and survival. Anthony Shore's attacks were violent and cruel, but not all his victims were killed. Some fought back with fierce determination to survive. Like Lori Lee Tremble and Carmen Maria Estrada, many tried to escape Shore's grasp, struggling hard to break free. Their resistance showed the courage of those caught in a nightmare. One victim, tied up with duct tape and threatened with a knife, refused to give in. Despite Shore's attempts to control her, she survived the attack. Shore himself admitted he started to strangle her but stopped. For him, this was a strange victory. He bragged about being able to harm women without killing them. Another victim was only 9 years old, Diana Arbola. She was sent on a simple errand in broad daylight, yet Shore took her, tortured her, and left her to die. The brutality of these attacks was horrifying, showing Shore's complete lack of mercy or pity. Survivors' brave fights revealed Shore's dangerous nature and the extreme threat he posed to young women and girls in Houston. Their stories are a testament to human will to live against terrifying odds. DNA leads to arrest. For years, Anthony Shore moved freely, hiding behind his ordinary life as a telephone repairman and family man. His crimes went unsolved, and he was not yet a suspect. But advances in DNA technology finally brought his dark secret to light. After one victim's body was found, police collected DNA evidence from under her fingernails. At the time, the DNA databases were limited, and Shore's sample was not yet in the system. However, years later, when Shore was arrested for sexually abusing his own daughters, his DNA was entered into the national database. This crucial match linked Shore to multiple unsolved murders of young girls in Houston. It took time and patience, but DNA evidence broke the case wide open. The science was undeniable, and Shore could no longer hide from his past crimes. This breakthrough showed the power of forensic science in catching dangerous criminals and brought hope to families seeking justice for their lost loved ones. It was the beginning of the end for Anthony Shore. Confession and death sentence. After his arrest and DNA match, Anthony Shore's crimes caught up with him. During intense police interviews, Shore confessed to the murders of Lori Lee Tremble, Carmen Maria de Estrada, Diana Arbola, and Dana Sanchez, as well as other assaults. His confessions revealed the full horror of his actions and his cold, calculating mind. Shore's willingness to admit guilt led to his conviction for capital murder. He was sentenced to death by lethal injection, marking him as one of Houston's most notorious serial killers. His own family, including his children and sister, supported the death penalty, showing the deep pain he caused even those closest to him. While on death row, Shore continued to taunt authorities, hinting at other crimes and dragging out the process. However, after years of legal battles, his game ended. In January 2018, Anthony Shore was executed, closing a dark chapter of terror but leaving a lasting impact on the community he haunted. His story is a chilling reminder of how evil can hide behind ordinary faces. Legacy of a dangerous killer, Anthony Shore's crimes left a deep scar on Houston and the families of his victims. Known as the Tourniquet Killer, he terrorized young girls and women for years, hiding behind the mask of a normal life. His story shows how evil can blend into everyday surroundings, making it hard to spot until it's too late. His arrest and conviction brought justice to some, but the pain remains for the families who lost loved ones. Shore's own family also suffered greatly, with some members even asking for his execution, showing how far his actions destroyed trust and love. The case highlighted important advances in forensic science, especially DNA testing, which helped catch him after years of evading capture. It also reminded law enforcement of the need to be vigilant about the quiet predators living among us. Though Shore is gone, his legacy is a warning. Evil can hide behind any door, and justice sometimes takes time, but it will come. His story reminds us how evil can hide behind the most ordinary faces. What do you think drives someone to commit such cruelty and yet live a double life? Could we ever truly know the people around us? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your perspective. And if you found this video gripping, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more true crime stories that explore the darkest corners of human nature. Stay tuned, because in our next video, the killer sent clues to the police just for fun. You won't want to miss it.